Good morning, everybody. We'll go live here in 30 seconds. Five, four, three. Alright, good morning, the chartguys.com members. It is 9:15, Monday, September 14th. A chilly one out there for me. Hopefully everybody's staying warm. Let's look at SPY. We have it opening fairly close to where we closed on Friday. It was a bullish close. It's interesting to see that we're not having a big open higher or lower, because that has been the pattern in the most recent days. So we're starting where we left off over the weekend. One thing we're going to be watching here on the 5-minute chart pre-market, you can see we are now in a pretty defined range of 200 period moving average support on the 5-minute chart. That level is 196.19. And we also, that's 196.32 up to now. And we have the 100 period moving average resistance that the price pulled back from at 197.05. So those are the two levels to watch here as we go into open. We will see which one gets turned into support or resistance, and that should be a good indicator of where we are headed this morning. So if we see a break in SPY of the consolidating pattern we've seen on the daily chart, we are going to notice volume as well. That's going to be a bullish indicator, and we are also going to look for a close over that middle Bollinger Band on the daily chart. That will be a big victory for the bulls. We have the Fed meeting coming up on Thursday, which we want to keep our eyes on. All these talks about the rate hike, is it going to happen? At this point, with all these meetings that have gone on and the amount of times the market has stomached this news, I feel like when the rates are hiked, there's not going to be a big sell-off like everybody says. Sure, there might be a knee-jerk reaction of 1 or 2 red days down, but I feel like those losses would get recovered fairly quickly, as everybody knows a rate hike is coming. It's just a question of when. And I don't think there's going to be a massive exiting of the stock market just because the rates are now raised. I could be wrong, but we're going to pay attention to that closely. Obviously, it is a very important factor. It's what the financial world is talking about most recently, so we'll stay on top of it. So let's look at some of the watch list we have from over the weekend here. First, we've got EYES, which isn't going to have much volume pre-market, but that is the swing play we've been watching. We're looking for a close over $10 and the middle Bollinger Band resistance on EYES. On Facebook, we're seeing a little higher open here, which is in line with the very bullish previous 2 days we saw Thursday and Friday. Nice 5-minute chart here, going up towards the high of the morning, which was up at 92.47. Currently, the ask is 92.48, and there it is. So there's the new high. Facebook is looking really good. I'm liking Facebook to 93 at least. That's when we're going to encounter some previous price history. Looking at Facebook, so 93 is the first target, and we'll see where we end up from there, but definitely a very bullish chart. We also have Lulu. We are watching for a bounce. Lulu formed a double bottom on Thursday and Friday. Not much pre-market volume, but we will be watching Lulu closely because Mobileye on Friday saw a really bullish bounce, as we all remember for those that were here. And I'm watching Lulu and GoPro for similar moves here. And we have GoPro currently trading up over $33, so a nice higher open. We have the 200 period moving average support of 32.83, currently above that level, so we'll see if GoPro can continue this bullish move. We have resistance for GoPro at 34. Sunni, been a chat room favorite for some time now. So Sunni, we are going to be watching the middle Bollinger Band resistance of 1160. I believe that was the level. It might be 1166, but watch the middle Bollinger Band. Also, we have $12 resistance. We'll see if we get any bullish momentum going there. The high from yesterday or from Friday was 1136. So we'll see this morning if we're able to set a higher high than that level, and if not, we will see some continued pullback and see if $11 support is going to hold. The candlestick on Friday for Sunni does suggest that we might be seeing a bullish reversal. We'll look for confirmation of that today after some consolidation after a 9-day run-up, 9 green days in a row. So definitely a healthy bounce still looking in Sunni. We're keeping it on watch daily. Let's see, we've also got some tickers worth notable mention that I have been looking at over the weekend. I'm going to pull up their daily charts for you to look at with me here, just for some key levels that we are going to be watching, and then I'll get into some tickers that members want to look at. So first, this was just up. Let's look at Amazon really quickly. Why this is such a bullish chart. You can see back here the previous price history before the market crash. 540 was a strong level of resistance. It pulled back multiple times from there, tried to get above it again and pulled back, and we are knocking on the door again. So a close above 540 would signal a very bullish development, and we could start working on getting back up to 580 here, which is where the gap up happened. I assume that was earnings, and it is a very bullish looking chart here. Amazon and Facebook and PCLN are my favorite looking daily and weekly charts out of the big board stocks that have nice liquid options. So let's look at some of the tickers that I was looking at over the weekend with just some notable levels to watch. With Etsy here, we are watching the middle Bollinger Band. I like Etsy here. I'm not saying I like it yet, but I'm liking it if it does close above the middle Bollinger Band just because of how strong it's been resistance. We had the pullback, hit resistance, couldn't close over it, hit it again, and hit it again. So now we're coming up for a fourth or fifth test, and if we are able to finally turn that into support, we should see a move to $16, the 50-day moving average resistance. That will be a nice level. Looking at other tickers here, we've got AA. So this is again an example where I would be writing things down. I'm looking at the paper right in front of me. Etsy, middle Bollinger Band, 1444, looking for a close above that level. In fact, I want to write down the target of $16 as well. Pen and paper, I can't, just personally, I know everybody has their own style, but for me, I really like having that physical number in front of me, and also writing it down commits it to memory as well. So here's AA. Looking at the 50-day moving average, AA hasn't closed above the 50-day moving average resistance in something like 5 months. So a close above 975 is going to be a very key level for AA. We'll keep our eyes on that, and if we get a close above 975, we'll be working back here towards the 1025 mark, which was the high here, and after that, we'll see if it can get some bullish momentum going. But definitely a long, steady downtrend for AA. We saw the doji here signaling the bullish reversal, confirmation of the bullish reversal, and a very nice follow through the past couple weeks. Another ticker I am looking at is Plug. This is a low price stock that can allow some quick swings. I'm looking at it just because of the steady drop and nice steady trading range now. The previous 3 days all held 168 support. So if 168 keeps holding, eventually Plug is going to close above the 10-day moving average, what's currently resistance, and going to head back up towards the middle Bollinger Band up at 186. So definitely a more risky stock. You want to have your stop losses in place with Plug, as it can be easily manipulated being under a $2 stock, but definitely want to keep your eye on and the 168 support. And lastly, PCLN, I'm liking it along with Facebook and Amazon, is a really bullish looking chart. If we get a close above 1300, which was resistance here and as well as resistance back here, we will work towards the upper 1300s and the gap up open as well. So a very similar looking chart to Amazon with the big gap up, the pullback from that gap, and now working back towards that level. So let's flip on over back to Fidelity here and look at some of the tickers you guys want to look at. We got 7 minutes until the open here. GoPro, we're watching for some bullish developments and also a break of $34 resistance. So definitely going to have my eye on that this morning as well. And Sunni, we're watching for a break of 1136, the high. Looking at Nugget, pre-market here. We did see a very nice recovery from the lower low on the daily chart, a nice long lower wick hammer, bullish reversal sign for Nugget. Need to see confirmation of that today. We have the 200 period moving average support of 261, which is currently holding, and we need to see that hold. Resistance is at 265 up here. We will see if Nugget has some bullish legs in it after seeing a nice dip and buying the bulls buying that dip. UGAZ support is down here at 840, the 200 period moving average, currently hitting the 20 period moving average resistance. That level is 854. I'm going to pull up the daily chart really quickly for you guys to see what are key levels. We had the reverse split, so the dollar changes in the price are throwing me off a little bit. So we got major support at $8. That is the key level to maintain, to hold. Middle Bollinger Band 869 is a very key level to get above. And we got the 10-day moving average support of $8.39. So a lot going on in the mid to lower $8. A close above $8.75 will be a very bullish sign for you guys. Let's look at Netflix. So we got Netflix coming up here, currently getting pushed back by the 20-period moving average resistance. That level is 96.66, knocking the price back down. We had a low here pre-market of 96.17. Going to need to see that level hold. A bit of a gap down as we had the low on Friday of 97.23. Pulling up the Netflix daily chart here, looking for some support. So currently at 96.50. That will put us below, as I said, Friday's low of day. On Thursday's low of day, we had a level of 96.78, so we're below that as well. Have to look back to Wednesday's low of 95.52, current level of support, but a bearish break in the consolidation trend we saw in the past 4 days for Netflix, so not a good sign on that end. Let's look at Apple. We got 4 minutes to go here. I'll try and squeeze everything in that I can. I'll check back with Amazon and Baba on the daily chart as well. Apple's looking really bullish, 117.15 after the high close on Friday. We had a target of 117.50. Apple was looking really strong as well. We have resistance of the 50-day moving average at 117.75, so that's going to be the first level to get over, but a nice gap up here for Apple, seeing some of that bullish momentum. That's a good sign for other stocks like Amazon and PCLN and Facebook, although it's not directly tied together. Seeing one stock doing well and breaking out of this pattern to the bullish side definitely gives points to those as well. So looking at Amazon on the 5-minute chart, not a whole lot of volume and movement, but we had the 20-period moving average support of 529.25, and again, we're watching for a close over 540 on Amazon. 527.52 is the support under that level. Baba, we had a low of the pre-market session at 62.17. 62 is going to be support. We had another low at 62.21, so that is a higher low. Key level to watch is 62.17, and currently trying to turn the 20-period moving average resistance into support. 62.56 is that level. A break above $63 would be a bullish sign, but we have the major resistances up here, 100 and 200 period, 63.56 and 63.53. So those are key levels to watch. Mobileye is up pre-market as well. Looking at the daily chart to see where we're going to find resistance there. 47.49. We have resistance for Mobileye, 200-day moving average of 46.74, so currently above that. After that, the next resistance I see is we had 2 days with a low of 50.55 and 50.56. So that would be a resistance level. I also assume $50 psychological level of resistance. And on any pullback, watch the 200-day moving average support of 46.74. So for Mobileye, it's looking like $50 is the only resistance I see on the daily chart. But again, look at every time frame here, as we have resistance at 49.62 on the hourly chart. On the 30-minute chart, we have nothing until 50. And on the 15-minute chart, we are currently just above 200 period resistance, so it is support at 47.55. 2 minutes until the bell here. SPY is looking like it's going to open higher and continue the bullish momentum seen Friday. VVUS, resistance of the 100 period moving average at 185. Support is at 172, the 200 period. Looking at the daily chart here to see where we can find support and resistance. We've got the bell here in 1 minute. Long upper wick on the end of the day Friday was pretty ugly. Resistance at $2. Could see a move up to there, and we will see. I will see, Fiona. That's an hour and 15 minutes of straight broadcasting, and that's about when I need a break. And Gixxer, I will look at that penny stock after the morning rush here is done. BIOC, I can look at the daily chart really quickly. So there's the bell. SPY is looking nice. We're watching the 100 period resistance and 200 period support. Eyes is up at 990, a nice open there. Watching $10 on Eyes. GoPro currently at $33. And Netflix is dropping back down to 96.52, the low in the morning, but seeing a little bit of a bounce here as it is setting a new high. So BIOC, we have major resistance at 228, the 50-day moving average. If you see a break below 220, it would be a bearish sign in my opinion, as that would be a lower low from Friday. So we see SPY pulling back here right to start. We got the 20-period moving average support of 196.74. That is the low of the day, and we're testing that level right now. And below that, 196.34 is the 200-period strong support we are going to be watching. Mobileye up another 2.5%. Insane bounce from $41 we saw on Friday. Facebook is slow and steady, continuing its upward move as well. Sunni pulling back, the low of 1122, the high of 1130, so unable to break the high of Friday of 1136. Looks like we might come down to test $11 support if we cannot see 1136 break. So Netflix seeing a nice bounce here, back to green. Let's see what it bounced off of. No major support that I saw, but looking at closing this resistance into support, the 100 period of 97.41. That knocked down the price pre-market, and if it's able to turn it into support, that will be a bullish development. Netflix is one stock we're seeing a lot of volatility in the first 15 minutes, more so than many other stocks that we are looking at, and definitely something worth noting. Want to look at Lulu here and compare it to on Friday, as we did see some pullback currently over the major resistance of the 200 period. That's a very bullish sign. If we are able to keep that level as support, we should see continued bounce here. That level is 54.04, and the high we are looking at to break from Friday afternoon is 54.65. So key level for Lulu, 54.65. SPY seeing some bounce from its low, trying to maintain the 20-period moving average support. That level is 196.70. Excuse me, 196.74. Here's Eyes making its push to $10, currently 3 cents shy of that level. A close above that will be a very bullish sign. Eyes has been a nice swing play from the mid-90s. As Lulu continues to be bullish here. Key 200 period moving average support on the 5-minute chart. Mobileye now up 5.7%. Absolute runner here. $41 was the low on Friday, and we are now up $7 from that low. Pushing it to $50 as pointed out pre-market. That was really the only resistance I was looking at. And it is running wild here. We could see a nice short opportunity on Mobileye, but we definitely want to give it its time to get overextended. RSI is currently 76 on the 5-minute chart, so if we were to hit $50 here in the next 10 minutes, it would definitely be an overbought situation and a potential for puts or shorts on Mobileye, but we'll wait and see how it plays out. Sunni just made a new high of day, still looking to break 1136. That's the key level to keep our eye on. And GoPro, we're watching for a break of $34. Want to see if GoPro has its 200 period as support, which it currently does. Nice bounce off that here in the first 5 minutes. That key level to hold as support is 32.81 for GoPro. Let's check back in with SPY. Still in this range. It's going to be a key range that we're going to be watching, as I pointed out. A nice trading channel right now. And definitely a very bearish candlestick for the first 5 minutes here on SPY. Mobilize working up towards its high of day again. Would love to see a break and a run to $50 for a short opportunity. So there's Sunni support going, and we're going to test $11 support. And after that, we're down to 1064, which was the low of the day on Friday. So key support for SPY here going forward is 196.35. I would expect a little bit of a bullish bounce off of that level and to head back up and test the 20 period moving average resistance, this green line, and then the blue line of the 100 period moving average resistance. Sunni is following SPY down. That's worth noting here in the morning. Lulu with a high of 54.50. Watching for a break of 54.65, which was the high of Friday afternoon. Sunni with a low now of 11.01. Let's see if this $11 is able to hold. So there's SPY with a very big dump right through the 200 period moving average support. We'll see if it's able to maintain that within the next 4 minutes if the bulls buy it back up. But definitely a very bearish $1 drop here in the first 10 minutes of trading. So there's support showing up for Sunni. Let's see if this big bid of 11.02 is able to stand. Netflix, a big drop. So that's what I was talking about with the wild swings of Netflix here in the first 15 minutes. We've been noticing this pattern. A $2 move in 10 minutes here from the high to the low. And definitely very bearish, breaking below all support from pre-market. And not much daily support for Netflix. So definitely a big volume dump here on SPY. Let's see if we have increasing volume with the next 5-minute candle. Zooming out to see how the volume candlesticks. I do remember a pattern. We usually see declining volume in the first 15 minutes of trading from the open. And looking like we might see an increase in volume in this candlestick, which would be a very bearish sign because it is definitely a lot of red volume. So that's just a little pattern recognition right there. Last week, the pattern was the spike of volume in the morning and then 5-minute candlesticks with decreasing volume in the next 15 minutes or so, and seeing a break of that in a very bearish way this morning. Nice tight bid and ask for eyes here. That is not something we have seen as well. Another change in pattern. So GoPro broke 34, looking pretty bullish here. That was the high of the day on Friday, so set a new high. Nice bullish breakout on volume. The RSI is up at 82, so we should see a short opportunity. This is definitely a little bit of a short squeeze going on, but it's going to get overextended to the upside here. Looking at GoPro daily chart to see where we might run into this resistance. Not seeing much on the daily chart. We had Thursday's high of day at 34.93. Let's look at some other time frames to see where the resistance is, as the RSI is getting pretty darn overbought on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so there's resistance right there in the 30-minute chart. 34.35 is 100 period moving average resistance. We will see if we start weakening here and seeing a pullback from that level. We also have the 15-minute 200 period moving average resistance of 34.53. So those two resistances combined with the RSI at 81 on the 5-minute chart could see a nice pullback here for GoPro. SPY closed below the 200 period moving average support, so that is now resistance. Expecting to see a back test of this resistance, which means we fell through it. It's going to come back up and test at resistance, and judging by this volume here, I would expect it to get rejected by this play, and it's looking, or by this level, and it's looking like we're going to have a bearish morning here for SPY and many stocks. So eyes broke $10, very bullish, nice bid, climbing up, currently at 10.22. This is a very successful swing play, pointed out last week, and glad we have that working out for members. So let's see eyes next resistance now. Looking great so far. We have support 979 is the middle Bollinger Band. We are breaking above a lot of previous consolidation, and I am not seeing resistance right now until we have a gap to fill of 1091. That is the target here. We had volume on Friday of 153,000. We already have 1/6 of that volume here in the first 15 minutes. So that is a pattern that you want to keep your eye on. Volume comparatively, comparing it to previous days, we have 15% of the total day's volume of Friday in the first 11 minutes of trading here. Very bullish eyes. So let's see GoPro here as it's making another attempt at its high of day and at those resistance levels we watched. RSI is now 84. 34.50 was the level pointed out on the 15-minute chart. Look for pullback signs here. We'll see just how much strength there is. You want to be very cautious playing against GoPro here, as this does look like a little bit of a short squeeze. And we do know how beat down GoPro has been and how many shorts there have been. So there's a break of 34.50. AMBA is trading with GoPro. And we are going to be watching GoPro for weakness up here, waiting for bearish reversal candlesticks. Eyes is continuing to look beautiful. Ask now of 1039, a high of 1052. Looking at a target of 1090. So 3 minutes left to go in this candlestick. We will see if 34.40 knocks, or excuse me, 34.40 knocks down the price of these two candlesticks. A bearish reversal candlestick is forming here. We have 3 minutes left to go, so that pattern can and will change. Let's check back in with SPY and see if we saw that back test of resistance. And that is exactly what we saw. Look at the high of this candlestick. Complete, perfect back test. 196.33 high, 196.35 resistance. We will see where this candlestick closes and how the next candlestick reacts to that resistance as well. We have Sunni breaking $11 support. Currently holding it, but definitely the bears are attacking on Sunni. And there's the break. Looking at support now of 1064, the low from Friday. So GoPro definitely seeing a bearish reversal candlestick here forming. Currently a doji at the top of an uptrend. We'll see if there's confirmation in the next 5 minutes. Let's check out the 5-minute chart for Sunni. And right through support. So definitely a bearish start, but note the RSI is at 21, so Sunni should see a bounce in the somewhat near future. Let's see other time frames, what kind of support we got. 200 period hourly support is strong and at 1103. So with the RSI down at 20 on the 5-minute chart, not expecting a whole lot more downside here for SUNY before the bulls step back in and come up for a resistance back test at 1112. Let's see if GoPro can maintain $34 here. Just broke below it. Candlestick's about to form with 1 minute left to go. Netflix down 95.32. Got to be getting oversold there as well on the 5-minute chart. RSI is at 28. Let's see what kind of other support we are looking at, and I don't think there is much. Very fast mover is Netflix these days. So SUNY is recovering $11 again. We'll see if it gets that resistance back test up at $11.12. GoPro is back under 94 or 34. I don't know why I keep saying 94, and closing under that level. A break of the low of this previous candlestick, 33.88, will be continued downside for GoPro as we consolidate this nice bullish move here first thing in the morning. So SPY is continuing to pull back from that rejection from the resistance back test. Played out perfectly, and then a new low was set. RSI is down under 30, so we will be seeing a bounce in the somewhat near term, but definitely a very bearish start for the morning. Look at these 4 candlesticks here, losing over $1 in the first 20 minutes. So I'm going to pull up the SPY daily chart just to see where the pattern falls here, where we might expect support. We have the 10-day moving average support of 195.37. The low on Friday was 194.53. So those are the daily chart levels to keep your eye on for SPY. There's GoPro with a very significant pullback. Congratulations to anybody that got in the short side on that very oversold run-up. We'll see where support is found here. Currently testing the exponential 4-period support of 33.69. Watching volume here. 3 minutes left to go in this candlestick. We are not going to see increasing bearish volume. So we will watch for potential consolidation and a continuation of this bullish move. Netflix is now under 95, just set a new low. So a very significant pullback of $3 in the first 20 minutes. That is $3 from its high. SPY, a new low of day, continuing downward. And SUNY is following it. RSI is now at 27. So another red candlestick on the 5-minute chart, and I will start looking for a bounce on SPY, and we should see that bounce translate in SUNY up to $11.10. But currently very bearish, setting new low of days. Eyes is still hanging in there, looking nice. As is Lulu. We're going to be watching that one closely, looking for a break of 54.65. Inverse ETFs like UVXY are probably doing very well this morning with this SPY pullback, but be cautious on those plays as I am expecting a SPY bounce here within the next 10 to 15 minutes. GoPro all the way down to 33.60s, so a very nice, almost $1 pullback there, which is almost 3% on a $33 stock. Lower wick on the 5-minute chart for GoPro is showing the bulls are stepping up, so we might see a little bit of consolidation and then another opportunity to enter GoPro for some more bullish upside. Let's see what the next 5-minute candlestick looks like as SUNY sits in a new low of day and SPY continues to struggle. SUNY now is going to be looking oversold. On the 5-minute chart, we're down to 18 RSI, so definitely watching signs of SPY for a bounce and potentially getting in SUNY to capture a piece of that action. Same bearish start for SUNY as SPY, so they are definitely trading hand in hand here to start. Increase in volume on the 5-minute chart on that big red candlestick is a bearish sign as well. And watch the low to hold of 195.68, which just broke, so more bearish downside. RSI now at 25, SUNY now at 1087. Can't find any moving average support on SUNY, so it's really going to be dictated by SPY on this bounce. Facebook now under $92 support, starting to feel the pressure from SPY's very bearish start. Currently forming a bullish reversal candlestick, but a lot of time to go before this forms, so the pattern will change. If you're looking to catch any of this SPY bounce, the play might be to catch SUNY bouncing up with SPY. So a bullish reversal candlestick here on SPY. 4 minutes left to go. We'll see if it's able to maintain that shape. Currently a hammer at the bottom of a downtrend. A green candlestick after a hammer confirms the bullish reversal. So GoPro looking strong again. As anticipated, after decreasing volume on a pullback and a break of the previous candle high of 34.04. On volume, notice the volume decreasing on the red pullback, bullish sign, and we are going to see an increase on this bounce. Keep your eye on this long upper wick. That could signal some more downside pressure, but 4 minutes left to go in this candlestick, and we're already at about the same volume as the previous 5 minutes combined. So SUNY is at its low while SPY is seeing a bullish reversal forming. That might be worth noting there, a little bit of divergence in the trading between the two. RSI is now down to 15. We will see a bounce for SUNY here fairly shortly. Not sure where the support level we are going to be finding is. All I see is 1064 on the daily chart and nothing on any shorter time frames. Could be lagging a little bit behind SPY here and be a nice opportunity. Watching volume currently decreasing on this pullback, so that leads more to the point that there will be a bounce. Facebook probably following SPY's lead. Big hammer, you are correct. Maintaining the 100 period moving average support. We'll see if it can close above that level. And SPY seeing that hammer as well. 2 minutes left to go. There's SUNY now bouncing back with SPY. So that's worth noting. A little bit of lag time here with SUNY. SPY giving us a glimpse that a bullish bounce is going to happen potentially in SPY. And then SUNY following suit about 2 minutes later. So that was a key little lag time that allowed for potential entry. We'll see how this candlestick forms as we have 2 minutes left to go. Going to see a nice big increase in volume coming down to test the low of the day again. Maybe a double bottom support hold and continuation upwards. All depends on SPY. Amazon has support at 525.11, the 200 period moving average. It's looking like with the RSI where it is at, it's looking like it will bounce off this level and then come back up and test test this resistance, might bounce in this channel for quite some time. So there's SUNY falling off of its low as well on increased volume, so not following SPY as much as it was previously, but still very oversold. RSI is now under 15, and start stocking this trade for a potential bounce that is going to happen. 1064 is the low of the day on Friday. Definitely watching closely with this very oversold RSI and 25 minutes of red candles to start the day. 1077 was just tested a few times and held. We'll be watching 1077 support as SPY formed that candlestick with a bullish reversal candlestick, and we'll see if we get some follow through on that. So 4 red candlesticks and then the green bullish reversal candlestick for SPY. And for SUNY, we have 5 red candlesticks, and we'll see what this one can do here in the next 5 minutes. Watching this low and to set a higher low. A higher low has not been set, as you can see, yet this morning, so that would be a break in the bearish pattern. Low of 1076. We'll see if that can hold as SPY is coming back down as well. Looking like it is not going to confirm this bullish reversal candlestick, but still 4 minutes left to go. Lulu looking nice, up close to its high of day, watching for that 54.65 break. GoPro strong, back above $34. Looking at AVGO on the daily chart. It actually had a very bullish close on Friday above the 100-day moving average resistance of 129.30. And the RSI is not anywhere near overbought. We had increasing volume on Thursday and Friday, and AVGO is looking pretty good. We might come back down and test the support of 129.30, but definitely a bullish chart without oversold or overbought indicators, which would have me not wanting to short AVGO. So GoPro back above 34, looking like it wants to test its high of day again. We'll see if it forms a lower high and starts consolidating, but a very nice follow through here on the previous 2 candlesticks, watching comparative volume. So SUNY 1077 was support, and 1076 is the low of the day. We will see what kind of candlestick here forms. Not a whole lot of volume in this 5-minute period. SPY is trying to get back over 196. We got resistance, the 200 period up here at 196.36. So if you were looking to play SPY bearish, after this break of support, we saw the classic back test that was rejected. And as soon as these lows broke, that was the signal that more downside was coming. We had a low of 196.01 and a low of 196.02. So after the rejection and then the break of 196, that was the signal for a quick 50-cent drop. So here's SUNY testing 1077 support again, just past that test, but not out of the woods yet. Great to hear, Walidi. Awesome stop loss. Let's see why it pulled back. The RSI on the 5-minute chart hit all the way up to the upper 80s. So definitely want to look at that on the 5-minute chart before entering any stock. But if you're able to get in on a run up and put your stop loss at break even, there's absolutely no risk in that trade. So I recommend that every time. But the big upper wick here was a sure sign of profit taking and perhaps some consolidation. $10 is currently support, and $9.92 is the 20-period moving average below that. But RSI, I never buy a stock bullish if the RSI is above 70. Sure, I missed some running opportunities, but by far, risk versus reward favors risk when the RSI is over 70 on the 5-minute chart if you are playing it for a short time period. So support broke on Sunni. As it goes down here, the more it drops, the more enticing it gets on a bounce. We have the RSI now down under 13, and looking like 1064 is going to be the level tested. I didn't think it would be able to get all the way down here without seeing a little bounce beforehand, but I was proven wrong with that. So here comes 1064. That is the 50% retracement Fibonacci support that we were looking at, and is the low of Friday. So currently 4 cents above that. RSI currently 15, but we need signs of a bullish reversal here. And the 4-period exponential moving average resistance, a close over that would be a bullish sign as well. Yeah, Mobileye got overextended there, including the move from Friday. That was such a huge move. Currently trying to hold 20-period moving average support of 47.37. If that fails, if we see a break of the low of the day, there is not much support until 45.77 on the 5-minute chart. But make sure you're checking the daily chart, because the 200-day moving average support for Mobileye is 46.75. So not a whole lot of drop before testing that support level. So Sunni seeing a nice bounce here. 15 cents in a matter of seconds. We'll see how it reacts to this 4-period exponential moving average resistance, and we'll be watching for a higher high to be set. We've not seen a higher high this morning either, so that would be a bullish break in trend. So watching volume for Sunni, 1068 is a higher low compared to Friday. We'll see if that's going to be the low of the day here. Still waiting on those bullish reversal signs and a close above the 4-period exponential moving average, which has knocked the price down all morning. A break of a high of the previous candlestick was 1086, so we'll see if we're able to break that here with 3 minutes left to go and nice volume. We'll see if we get an increase in volume. That would be a bullish sign. SPY is back up to 196, testing that level, and then we have the 196.23 resistance on the 5-minute chart. So let's check in with some of the other tickers that were highlighted. I'm looking at the daily chart for Etsy. Tight range, hitting the middle Bollinger Band resistance of 1430 and waiting for a break of that and a close above it. AA. Currently pulling back from 50-day moving average resistance, so not looking like we will see a close above that level today unless we get a very bullish turnaround. Looking at Plug on the daily chart. It broke the key 168 support, which was the low of the day the previous 3 days, so that is going to take my eyes off of that one. And PCLN here, looking at PCLN. Very tight range, trading in between 1280 and 1300. A break in either direction will signal the short-term trend of PCLN. So Sunni here, trading up near the high of the candlestick. 2 minutes left to go. Nice volume. Let's see if we can get a bullish reversal as SPY is above 196 now as well. Let's get that exact level of resistance for SPY, which is 200 period of 196.37. So there's a break of a higher high for the candlestick on the 5-minute chart of Sunni on nice bullish volume. You guys looking nice. Bullish start to the morning. The high pre-market was 866. I suggest if you are playing you guys, you are watching the candlestick chart on investing.com for natural gas. If you're playing any ETF or commodity, you want to be watching the underlying commodity, which for you guys is natural gas. For you WTI, it's crude oil. For JNUG, it is gold. You want to have those candlestick charts up in front of you. Otherwise, you're pretty much getting information at a few second delay on these charts as to what's going on with the underlying commodity. Yes. Chart sun. But yeah, just Google natural gas candlestick chart and click the link that comes up from investing.com, and there'll be a nice interactive chart you can use. Good one, Gixer. So looking for some bullish follow through here. The high of this candlestick was 1087. Still was not able to close above the 4-period exponential moving average. And we have a big ask here at 1086. If the bulls can eat through that fairly quickly, it'll be a bullish sign. So there is the big resistance falling. And seeing some bullish follow through here. Currently up 20 cents from its lows. And Sunni looking pretty good here off the bounce.